Imagine waking up 10,000 years ago. There are no cities, no science, no internet, no books, no weather forecasts. One moment, the sky is clear. The next, dark clouds gather overhead. Thunder shakes the earth. Lightning strikes a tree nearby, setting it on fire. You have no idea what electricity is. You don't know what causes storms. You don't know why people die, why crops fail, or why the sun rises every morning. Yet somehow, the world keeps moving. Now ask yourself, how would you explain all of this? This question may hold the answer to one of humanity's greatest mysteries. Why did humans create thousands of gods? Throughout history, people have worshipped more than 10,000 different deities. There were gods of thunder, gods of war, gods of fertility, gods of rivers, gods of the sun, even gods of doorways and crossroads. Entire civilizations dedicated their lives to beings that many people today have never even heard of. But why? Why did humans, separated by oceans and continents, keep creating gods again and again? The answer takes us deep into the human mind, and it begins with fear. For most of human history, nature was terrifying. Today, when a storm approaches, meteorologists can explain exactly what's happening. Ancient humans had no such luxury. Thunder seemed alive. Lightning appeared to come from nowhere. Earthquakes could destroy entire villages within seconds. Floods wiped out years of hard work. Disease struck without warning. To ancient people, these events felt personal. When something happens without an obvious explanation, the human brain naturally searches for one. This tendency is deeply embedded within us. Imagine hearing a rustle in the bushes while walking through a forest. Is it the wind or a predator? For our ancestors, assuming that something was hiding there was often the safer option. Those who were cautious survived. Those who ignored potential threats often didn't. As a result, humans evolved to detect agency, even when none exists. We are wired to believe that events happen because someone or something causes them. This may explain why ancient people saw intention behind natural forces. The storm wasn't just a storm. Someone was making it happen. The river wasn't merely flowing. A spirit controlled it. The sun wasn't simply a star. A powerful being guided it across the sky. And just like that, gods were born. But fear wasn't the only reason. Humans are storytellers. More than any other species, we organize reality through stories. Stories help us remember information. They teach lessons. They bring communities together. Most importantly, stories make a confusing world understandable. Think about it. Which explanation is easier to understand? The movement of atmospheric pressure systems creates electrical discharges that produce thunder, or a thunder god is angry. For ancient societies, the second explanation was far easier to grasp. It transformed chaos into something meaningful. A storm wasn't random. It had a purpose. Someone was responsible. And if someone was responsible, perhaps they could be persuaded. This gave people a sense of control. Offer a sacrifice, perform a ritual, say a prayer. Maybe the harvest would improve. Maybe the storm would pass. Maybe the gods would listen. Whether these actions worked or not, they reduced anxiety. What's fascinating is that different cultures often created surprisingly similar gods. Consider thunder gods. Ancient Greece had Zeus. The Norse had Thor. The Slavs worshipped Perun. The Vedic tradition spoke of Indra. These cultures were separated by vast distances, yet many imagined powerful sky gods associated with lightning and storms. Why? Because they were observing the same natural phenomenon. Thunder is loud, powerful, unpredictable. It naturally inspires awe. Different civilizations interpreted it differently, but often reached similar conclusions. The same pattern appears with sun gods. The sun provides warmth, light, and life. Without it, nothing survives. It's no surprise that many cultures viewed the sun as divine. Again and again, humans looked at the same world and created remarkably similar stories. This suggests something profound. The gods may have been different, but the human questions were often the same. Who controls nature? Why do we exist? What happens after death? How should we live? Every civilization struggled with these mysteries, and every civilization searched for answers. Perhaps no question was more important than death. Even today, death remains one of humanity's greatest mysteries. For ancient humans, it was even more frightening. One day, a person is alive. The next, they're gone. Where did they go? Did they simply disappear? Or did something continue after death? Many cultures believed that a spiritual realm existed beyond the physical world. This belief gave comfort. It offered hope. It suggested that death was not the end. Across continents and centuries, humans developed stories about heavens, underworlds, ancestral spirits, and afterlives. The details varied. But the underlying desire remained remarkably similar. People wanted meaning in the face of mortality. Gods helped provide that meaning. As civilizations expanded, so did their pantheons. A small tribe might worship a handful of spirits. A great empire could worship hundreds. Ancient Egypt developed an enormous collection of gods. Mesopotamia had countless deities. The Greeks and Romans created extensive mythologies. In India, divine traditions became extraordinarily rich and complex. Every region added new stories, new heroes, new divine beings. Sometimes gods merged together. Sometimes they evolved. Sometimes they disappeared entirely. Each generation inherited old beliefs and added new ones. Over thousands of years, the number of gods multiplied dramatically. Yet something unexpected happened. As time passed, many societies moved toward fewer gods. Some embraced monotheism, the belief in a single supreme deity. Others emphasized universal spiritual principles. Religious traditions evolved alongside human civilization. But even when older gods faded away, they rarely vanished completely. Their stories survived. Today, names like Zeus, Thor, Odin, Ra, and Anubis still capture our imagination. Not because millions worship them, but because they reveal something about us. They are windows into the minds of our ancestors. They show how humans tried to understand a mysterious universe. Interestingly, modern science has answered many questions that ancient gods once explained. We understand thunderstorms. We know how diseases spread. We can predict eclipses. We can study galaxies billions of light years away. Yet the deeper questions remain. Why does the universe exist? What is consciousness? What gives life meaning? Science excels at explaining how things work, but many people still look elsewhere for answers about purpose and meaning. This may be one reason spiritual beliefs continue to exist today. The questions that inspired ancient religions never completely disappeared. They simply evolved. So, did humans create thousands of gods because they were ignorant? Not exactly. That's a common misunderstanding. Ancient people were not foolish. They were trying to solve the same mysteries we face today with far less information. They observed the world. They searched for patterns. They created explanations. This process resembles science itself. The difference is that their tools were limited. Without telescopes, microscopes, or laboratories, mythology became a framework for understanding reality. Their conclusions may have been different from ours, but their curiosity was the same. And curiosity is one of humanity's defining traits. When we look back at thousands of forgotten gods, we're not just studying religion. We're studying ourselves. Every god represents a human question. Every myth reflects a human fear, hope, or dream. The thunder god reflects our fear of nature. The harvest god reflects our dependence on food. The god of death reflects our struggle with mortality. The creator god reflects our desire to know where we came from. Behind every deity stands a human being looking up at the sky and wondering why the stars move, wondering why people suffer, wondering what lies beyond the horizon, wondering whether anyone is listening. And perhaps that is the most remarkable part of this story. Across thousands of years, countless civilizations rose and fell. Their languages disappeared. Their kingdoms crumbled. Their temples turned to ruins. Yet the questions remained. Humans kept asking them, again and again, generation after generation. Maybe the story of thousands of gods is not really about gods at all. Maybe it is about humanity's endless search for understanding. A search that began around ancient campfires. A search that built pyramids and temples. A search that inspired myths, philosophies, and religions. Who are we? Why are we here? The names of the gods may change, but humanity's quest for answers never does. And perhaps that quest is the greatest story ever told.